And hello, we are back once again. You guys are in the school of Lord Fishy, and we are going to make some more furniture stuff. We're going to make a part 2 to our furniture series, we decided. And we'll go ahead and keep the square to start. We'll go ahead and size things. If you're using Unreal, this is going to come in handy because things need to be scaled to go into Unreal. They don't need to, but it does make things a lot easier. So we're going to change that to local. We're going to go over here. Going to find units. Change that to 0.01. And then scale up here to 0.01. I think I had that right. I'm just going to double check that. Yep. Alright, and we are ready to get started. Today we're going to do counters for kitchens, so it's another furniture series. We could make these into dressers, storage. Maybe we'll see how far we get and how fast we get there. It's always undetermined amount of time to get, where you think you're going to be. You might not be there when you think you're going to be there. So anyways, we'll Shift D. We'll copy that. Let's bring it up here. Scale it down. Scale it down again, nice and thin. Bring it down, and again we're going to start with counters. So we're going to make this hair longer this way. Then we're going to bump it forward for the back edges flat. So now we have a lip coming over our counter. Perfect, good work. We're going to do a few things to fix it up, but let's just take our time. Shift D on this again. I'm going to pull this out. Do you want a rounded hole inside your cupboard? I do not. I want a square one, so I'm going to shrink this down to the hole size that I want with S. We're going to drag it in slowly until we're in the desired depth. If it's not deep enough for you, extend it. Just make sure you don't poke out the sides or back. But we basically want to make sure that we're going to get the cupboard depth that you want. So we're going to, before we do anything, before we boolean it, we're going to go ahead and copy this, drag it out. Alright, we're ready. So grab this, grab that, go ahead and bool and difference. And the reason we didn't attach the top counter part is because when you're booleaning things, it will make things you made attached to the thing you're booleaning disappear. The reason we duplicated this block here is because it is going to probably be our cupboard door. But first, it's going to be also our cupboard shelf that we're going to make. So let's go ahead and make a shelf. And we're going to shrink it down outwardly just a little bit as well. But let's get this to a good depth. Alright, that looks really good. Let's just bump it back a hair for the room for the door. Alright, that looks like a decent shelf in there we got, right? We got a decent cupboard for our kitchen. Now we could use the same methods to make dressers, but I would do dressers a bit different. This is more so if you're going to have a game with opening cupboards and you want to be able to flop the doors open, flop them shut. Alright, now let's make a door for it. Again, before we attach anything to the other parts. So we're going to make this a lot thinner. Okay, we'll go again. Alright, and we will pump it in. And it's looking doorish. Getting there. And we don't want it to fit in the exact hole. We want it to actually be a little bit bigger, I'd imagine. Unless you want yours to fit in, you can. I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger. So I want it to be an overhang. I want the cupboard to open to this, basically. Alright, now do you want a basic counter, or do you just want something, or do you want something a little more in depth, basically? There's a few different things we can do to try to make a design on our cupboard door. If you really want to get into things. If you don't, feel free to just watch this part. Maybe take some notes in your head and just kind of Remember the things I'm telling you in case you do want to later. You change your mind or you want to add an update to your game if you're making a game. So we're going to go in a little bit like this. Alright. Now that's not a big deal, right? Just in a little bit. What if we did this though? It gives it a completely different look. As you can see, the edges are tapered. What if we went in again? What if we came out here? As you see, we got a really cool look to the door now. We could add our cupboard handle up here or put it in the middle here. Or we can go ahead and hit Control B and bevel this edge. Now, keeping in mind that the more you add bevels and things like that, the more of these lines there are, the more it's going to take to have this in the game. The more surfaces there are to reflect, the more CPU has to run. So again, I'm not going to do that. I'm just showing you an example. I'm going to reverse out of that, and I'll show you a few more tricks and we'll move forward. Just keep on undoing until it's back to what it was, if you're following along, just to try these techniques on your own. Okay, what if we want to round the cupboard door? Well, we grab all those edges. Oh wow, that's not what I meant to do, but it is working. We got a nice round door at that point. Another way would be to do this, and this is what I meant to do. Okay, just going to grab that edge, that edge, that edge, and I imagine you know this edge. Control B, and that is a much better look, I honestly think. And again, we can readjust the size after we come out of edit mode, or we can just pop it in if we're happy with that. Looks like it's a little bit too small now because of the big beveled edges. So I'll just do one of those, or one of these. Oops. To try to cover up those holes and make it line up with the doors. Looks pretty good, I'd say. Go down a little bit that way. Alright, so I'm going to leave my door like that. You guys can go ahead and do whatever you like with yours. I think that's a pretty good look. If you'd like to now go for the whole invert, which is when you push I and you go in to make some sort of design, now you're welcome to as well. It'll make a better design. Just make sure you don't go too far. You see what's happening now. It's too much of an angle, it's breaking itself, and you gotta avoid stuff like that. You're just gonna cause more issues later. So you're gonna want to be in this safety zone here. We're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that, but you're welcome to. Alright, so flip out edit mode. Shift A. We're gonna hit, what shall we do, guys? Let's do a cube. My favorite, right? Oh, that was wrong. That was wrong. Shift A, and sorry, not in circle. We're gonna do, I could have swore I just did a square. Oh, I did. I'm messing up here. Alright, I'm messing up. I hope I don't got another one in there now. No, I don't. Alright. Shrink this with S. We'll go down to just about nothing. Shrink it again. Alright. Oops, keep it on your axis just to make things nice and neat, and keep it exactly in the middle because we kept everything else in the middle to this point. Gonna have to think about it. Now, if this was a top cupboard, I'd probably want to put the handle down near the bottom. Probably off to one side, whatever way I intend the door to open. So I'd put the hinges for it over here so it'd open at an angle that way. Or, if this is a bottom cupboard, we're going to put it up here, right? So this is a bottom cupboard, so we're going to put it up here, for example. I'm going to go ahead and grab this. We'll grab edges again. Is that the right one? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Control B. Make it round-ish. Okay, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to tab out of that. I'm going to Control D. I'm going to move it forward a bit. I'm going to S to make it bigger. And then we're going to shrink it. Now the idea here, S maybe to make it a little bit bigger, and then shrink it, is to make a little handle that you can open your cupboard with. Aw, cute. So we're going to click this one, Control J. We're going to join it, and we're going to back that right up there. So now we have a handle for our door. We're going to go ahead and join this to the door because we're done with the door. So grabbing the handle first, the door second, unless you want the control point to be the handle. Maybe we'll do that. Door, handle, Control J. Now the control point's on this handle, as you can see. It's always very important to think about where you would like to have your control points, because when you're moving things around, it's going to make things a lot easier, or it's going to make things a lot harder. Just thinking for a second here. Okay, and we'll just do one more thing. I really like the look of it, but a few things again to improve the look is if we extend this just a little bit, and then we go to this back edge and we walk it right like that. Okay, so that's giving us a bit more of an edge, which is a bit better of a look in the first place probably. Now if we grab this face and we Control B, we can either bevel it out like this if it's a single cupboard on the top, but this is going to be a bottom cupboard, so it's going to be attached to other ones. So we're going to right click to cancel that, and we are going to do things a little bit different. We are going to go to edges, going to grab that top edge, and we're going to hit Control B. Let's see what we're getting here. Looks like it's just spreading along the top. So let's try grabbing both of them. Let's see what the difference is. Oh, we got this one too, eh? Here we go. Control B. And again, you're going to have to find the look that you like. Everybody's going to be a bit different. Kind of want to round this, but I'm kind of worried about joining it to the next one. So what we might want to do in that case, to be just a little smarter, is take the top piece and make it a few long. So we're going to flip here, and we can just stretch this out basically, and we can put all our counter pieces under one piece, and that way when we bevel the front edge, it's not going to make them not match to each other. It won't bevel around until the corners. Another way we could probably do this is to extend this and then bevel and then shrink, but I'm trying to be quick for you guys here. I might go with something like that. Then I'd highlight all the faces. You know what? That looks really good. I'd probably leave it like that. I'd just duplicate my counters wherever I wanted them. Now, what have we done? We've just done cupboards basically, eh? And already we're pretty far in. So, and I'm running out of time. So what else can we do real quick for kitchens? Maybe a sink. Maybe you guys would like to see that. I'm going to flip out of edit mode. Control A. Let's see if we can get a sink done real quick. Hopefully. We can get a cube. Maybe move it over. Flip in edit mode. Control B. And round it right off like that. Okay. And now we are going to move it over to where we want to put our kitchen sink in. Shrink it into a size we want. Say bump it a little forward where we're going to want our sink. Like that, probably. And let's see what it does for us. We're going to Shift D that just in case. Oh no, we did this wrong. undo that. I wonder if I got two of them there now. No. Okay, so let's see what we get when we do this. Gonna bool it out. Difference. Okay, we got our hole for our sink. Now, oh yes, let's go back. Let's go back one before we did that. Just grab this circle. We're gonna hit Shift D because we're gonna reuse that. Let's be smart, remember? Okay, so let's move this down a little bit because I didn't quite like the look of that sink. Objective, bool tool, difference. So, now we have half a circle and where the sink was missing with the same size piece. We're going to Shift D. Nope. We are going to undo that. I'm going to use a square instead. It'll be a little easier for this. Shift A. Out of edit mode, of course. Shift A. Grab a cube. Slide it on over in the middle of this. Up and down. Like that. We're going to do that. And then we're going to boost it over a little bit and move it up. And the bottom half is going to be our sink. So keep that in mind when you're cutting it out. How big do you want your sink to be? It's got to fit. So I'm going to go a little bit like this to make sure it fits. Like that. And objective. And then difference. And we have our sink. Now you're saying, well, that sink's full. There's two ways we can do this. We can delete the face, or we can flip out edit mode, grab this, Shift D again, lift it up just a little bit, shrink it down, give yourself the edge you want. Oh, it looks like it moved when we shrink it. Make sure the edges are pretty even. I don't like that. Remember, I'm not taking my time, I just want to get it done for you guys. Grab the top one, the bottom one, object, bool tool, difference. Alright, we have a sink. Alright, let's see what we got. Looking pretty good, guys. It looks like a sink, right? Now we just need a hole at the bottom, and we will need some spouts and different things. Let's see if we can get that done quick. Again, I'm running out of time. So let's grab a cylinder. I apologize, I'm going to go a little fast to finish this off, but S to shrink it to get to be about the size of the hole that you're going to want to punch out. I'm just going to put that down there. S some more. And let's just stretch it. It looks like it's not coming through either side. Let's stretch it in this mode, actually. Better yet, we don't want to move the tools for it too much. Alright, and we got it. We're gonna object, bool tool, difference. We got our hole in our sink, guys. Now if you wanted to run plumbing, you literally could. Just with those holes, you just have to bool a circle out. Just keep going with it. So at this point, we're gonna attach this to the counter. Control J. Okay, we have our counter with our sink. Now, I'm just going to Shift D that, and look at this. We got two cupboards now. And obviously you can just kind of move that along. You might have to bool out your hole for your sink there out of this one, but you get the idea. Not a hard thing to do. You just need to duplicate this half circle again, and if we need to, we can go L on it, and then you would Shift D, just in case you are doing that. I don't want to leave you hanging, especially if you're new. Okay, we got our thing right. And then we would, let's undo that. Like this, and hit P, selection. And then we would just grab this, put it exactly where that other sink is. And then you would move your cover back to where you would want it to have the hole in it. Yeah, I always say I'm not going to show you guys these things, and then I take the time every time and I show you. And then you got to grab the one sink and then bool it out of this, and you should have. I might have done that wrong. What do we got left? Oh, you know what? I don't know, that didn't work. Let's go back, something went wrong. Let's look at the cords for a second. Okay, that should be fine. I don't know what went wrong there, so we'll just drag it off to the side. We'll grab our extra sink and we'll have a look for ourselves. Oh, I see what's happening. So it's leaving a hole where our sink was. We might have to use a full circle to punch it out. Well, anyways, you guys get the idea. I'll leave it there for now, and I believe you know how to color. And if you don't, maybe refer to one of my other videos, and we will come back with possibly a third. Oh, geez. I forgot one thing too. Let's go ahead and make a faucet for the sink. Before you guys say, why wouldn't you made a faucet? You did everything else, but you didn't make a faucet. Yeah. It's pretty easy to make these things, guys. You just have to use your imagination, really. If you're just here for an idea of how to make things. Never hurts. I watch a lot of Blender videos myself, and I take a lot of ideas I see from other people, and I reuse them myself. Because why not? If it's a good idea, there's no reason to have any shame seeing, learning from other people. It's always good to have a lot of creativity, and sometimes you could be influenced by others. Alright, there's one piece. Shift D it. We're going to drag this piece over a bit. We're going to shrink it down. Hopefully this works out like it's working out in my head. If not, I apologize. Cube. So we are going to shrink that this way, shrink it this way. And then move it over. Alright. Try to find the top point of that. And then we just match the sides. Now you can have it kind of just punching into the side of this, which is what I'm going to do. So I might have to change the size just a little bit more for it's aiming at the middle of the sink. Like so. Alright. That looks pretty okay. Shift D. Now obviously I'm doing these things fast, and I could take more time and add more detail to these things, and maybe that's what you need to see. But you're going to have to tell me for I know. And then I'd Shift D, and I'd make probably one of these on the other side, right? Probably make them a bit bigger. This. So we have our handles, and then this will be our actual nozzle where the water comes out. Like so. Right, and we have our sink. We can join these, and by Control J, we can join it to the counter if we want at that point. All up to you. If you want it to move, you're going to have to leave it disattached. Same with the tap fixtures. Anything like that, you're going to have to import them. You can import them together, but they cannot be attached. Otherwise, when they get in, you're going to have issues. Alright, well, this has been another Blender lesson with Lord Fishy, and if you're making your own game, I wish you tons of luck. It's a really hard battle, but you are going to get there if you just keep on taking lessons and finding new ways to do things yourself. And don't rely on asset packs. You can do this. Anyways, everybody have a great day. Remember to like, subscribe, and thumbs up my videos. And if you'd like to support me, I do not have a patron, so please look at my channel. You'll see a link to my game if you'd like to try that. I would really enjoy having you guys try it and tell me what you think of my game. If you have ideas for new videos, put them in the comments, and thanks for watching.